I signed, sir. I'm ahead of you. Thank you.
You need a pen? You ready, Mr. Velez?
Yes, be sure to have the microphone open, please. Because IT was telling me that on the last one, the record was not completely clear.
Red light on your mic.
Yeah. No, the next one. Okay.
Turn your microphone. Call this meeting to order. I have 12:05 PM Friday afternoon. Do we have any comments, Mr. Velez?
We don't.
Okay. Next item is approval of the minutes of October the 22nd. There is one correction. Middle of the first page. It says that Calvin Walker moved and I was not present, so it should read Fernando Bailly. With that correction, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 22nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Then on the agenda, we're going to, I'm recommending.
Just wait a minute, there's the calendar. The 2025 calendar has to be
Oh,
voted. What I'm suggesting is to keep Fridays, the second Friday, as a meeting day, but I don't know if you want to change it. Or
I would like to say that, is there a possibility of doing something a little later in the day for people? I feel like it might be difficult for people to make a noon meeting.
Okay,
And especially when we go beyond one. And
okay, what I'm going to do is check them with the secretary, what days are available in the afternoon, because city commission,
Like a 5
here,
o'clock?
finance zoning and
So
so
they
on.
might look at 5 or 5:30 so that people can
Yeah.
come.
so we'll table this for today?
Yes, because, and then I will propose probably or Monday or Wednesday.
Okay, is there a motion to table?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes. Okay, on the agenda, make a note, we're going to change the order. These, number one will still remain number one. Number two will be number four. Number three will be number five. Number four will be number two. Number five will be number six. Number six will be number seven. And number seven will be number three. With those changes, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, Mr. Velez, item number one,
Thank you. We love the
1419 East Tyler Avenue.
So as usual, we open with the certified local government rules, the Secretary of Interior standards, the Unified Development Code for demolition, the historic districts,
Need to speak up.
the National Register Historic District that we have in Brownsville. So the first item is the demolition of Buena Vida neighborhood. As you will recall, on the last Historic Preservation Commission meeting was approved the design. So we are here just to approve the demolition and keeping, as the Texas Historical Commission and the Brownsville Housing Authority agreed to just preserve one of the buildings. So this will be the total project. 212 units with 240 parking units. So the staff recommendation is to approve the demolition. and simply reminding the requirements if it's going to be for a long time, such demolition. We are simply reminding the articles that are here established by the UDC, such as the treatment of site of the following demolition or potential salvage strategy for building materials.
So your recommendation is to approve the demolition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this item? Please identify yourself.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You need to turn on the mic.
Is that on?
There's a
Push.
button there.
Okay, yes. My name is Carla Mancha, and I'm the CEO for the Housing Authority of the City of Brownsville.
Welcome.
Thank you. And yes, and thank you to you and your board. We did come last month and we presented the design. And today we're here asking for the approval of the demolition, and we will remain with one building that is on 16th Street. And this all coincides and reflects the Choice Neighborhood Transformation Plan that was approved by the city and the Housing Authority back in 2018.
Thank you. Is
Thank you.
there a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for approved demolition.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes. Next item, number 2, which was number 4, 653 East 13th Street. Mr. Velez.
East 13.
Yeah, this is the CSL plasma located at 653 East 13th Street. This company opened on 2015 and the facade was refaced. The building is not historical. It was from the 1980s, 1990s. You can see perfectly here on the sample maps that happened to be the house that you see on the bottom part of the sample maps. That was the house of one of the Iturias. Unfortunately, it was demolished after he passed away. So these were the openings established in 2015. And they want to reorder. This is the rear. This is mainly what they want to do on the front. That's, as you can see on the bottom, that is simply close. One of the openings located to the left, and the right readdress it. And then on the alley is simply these 2 openings that they need for transportation issues and so on. So the building is not historic, therefore the proposed project can be approved as presented with a certificate of appropriateness once the project meets the following requests, that is simply to complete the COA application and to comply with the rest of the UDC and IBC codes.
Okay, is anyone here to speak on behalf of this item? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Item number 3, which was item number 7, 1 Ebony Avenue, Whitman House. Mr. Velez.
Yeah, this was misspelled. It's not the Whitman, it's the Willman, Lily Willman House. She built it in 900 after receiving certain, after she was a widow and she built the house. The house was located in 14th and Adams Street. And in 1946 was relocated at 1 Ebony Avenue by the Simpsons, and that's the current location. So, okay, this is the evolution of where was the house and so, where it's important. Okay, this is the site plan that shows finally the driveway behind the tree that is facing Palm Boulevard. So you can see that the owner, they are going to develop this 12-feet driveway plus 1 feet per side for the brick pavement. And then from there, they will link the driveway through a pathway to the entrance of the house. So we met with the owners, city manager, the assistant, and the planning department, and it was agreed this design. Therefore, now that we have an area that is going to be a green space, the driveway, as many other properties in Los Ebanos, these are the rules for the rehabilitation. We are recommending to approve as presented.
Okay, so your recommendation is to approve the drawing as presented?
Yes.
Can you go back to the drawing, please? Okay, so you're recommending that it have a brick edging all along the concrete?
Yes, in both sides. Yep.
And then are you recommending also a brick sidewalk? Or what is this indicating? Is this a brick sidewalk?
Yeah, those are pavers as well. Yeah, the designer is here.
Okay, so brick edging and brick sidewalk. All right, thanks.
Any further questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Your second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next item, item number 4. 101 East Levy Street. Fourplex.
Formerly number 2.
Yeah, formerly number 2.
Okay, this is the O'Brien site. It was demolished a long time ago. In 1957, the house was still located on the upper part of the sample maps. Right now is a lot. So we check the contributing housing in the immediate surrounding, and we find the kind of the Queen Anne 2-story building. That is the brown house that is practically in front. So that's a good reference. So the property owner is proposing this fourplex with this floor plan. I'm going to tell you some issues on how are we going to resolve. From a designing point of view, it matches perfectly. The area is kind of Victorian, so it's a good design. Now, the only issue is that it's going to be developed a little bit more than 50 feet. That is right now the limit. How are we going to resolve this issue in the planning department? The whole planning department is in agreement. Okay, this is what we have right now, a 50-feet main house, and then the accessory structure on the rear, detached accessory of 28 feet. So what we agreed in the department is, okay, let us take that accessory structure, add to the main house, so the houses can be built with more depth, but then cannot have anything else on the back. Should be the parking, and that's it, and garden.
So there won't be no backyard?
No, there would be, because the lots are 120. You have a setback from 10 to 25. So if you go to 10 plus 78 is 88.
10 closer to the street, you mean?
Yeah, the setback of traditional neighborhood is 10 to 25. It depends of the setback is chosen by the owner.
So you will have a house that's only 10 feet off the street?
That's right now the traditional neighborhood. You can build any house. You leave simply a 10 feet of setback on front setback, and you can start to build the house.
But that's not, okay.
Well,
That is not how downtown homes were built. They were not built 10
well,
feet
that's
from the
why
sidewalk.
we when the UDC was approved 3 years ago, they say, okay, you can build between 10 and 25 feet. And that was established when the UDC was built. So imagine that this property owner takes the 10 feet, then it's 10 plus 78 is 88. So 88 up to 120, there's 32 feet there. So if the owners use it for the parking units or an additional garden and so would be on the back. In that way also, because that was the idea of the UDC when it was approved, the city would be walkable. So the sidewalks will be in place and then you leave everything on the back. So that was the idea.
No, I understand that part. I just feel
Yeah.
that becomes very
10 feet seems.
looming on the street, that it's just,
Was that,
I mean, I
Was that
understand it
approved
in
by the-
downtown, but this is a neighborhood for the most part.
Yeah.
that was
That-
before me, was that approved by,
No, that was
Brought up-
approved.
Yeah, no,
That was approved on
we
20.
have no say.
Yeah,
yeah, that
We
was
have
by
no
planning,
say on that.
that was by,
no, that was
planning and zoning?
by the city commission.
City commission, yeah, it wasn't. So when people come and kind of like last time, talking about moving
Yeah,
the building and
bulk and
parking.
so the bulk would be impacted and then they could do the long
Yeah,
design.
that
They
really
want,
should
all
have
the
been-
parking should be on the back,
Yeah.
not on the front.
That should have been addressed to someone else, not us. 'cause We're
Absolutely.
not the one.
When we
Yes,
approve,
no, we don't have any say. I
Yeah.
understand that.
when we
But I
approve
feel
that,
That's all.
we will contact again the
Yeah.
owners of Polk and we'll tell them. Okay, so these are the classical building materials that you may build the houses, horizontal or vertical bottom button siding. The characteristics with the exposure, we are insisting in the exposure because we don't want to have this kind of a huge hardy plank stuff. We are recommending some Victorian doors. And the proposal is that, okay, that the design follows a Victorian style, which is compatible with the neighborhood. So we are recommending to approve the design, but subject to the following conditions. The first one is to amend the code, proposing this 50 feet plus 28, unless the owner wants to do a corner commercial, in which then the opening or the entry would be through the corner. That probably is not going to be done. And then you can see the whole of the typical recommendations that are there. Siding, the wooden posts, the front doors, the single hung windows, et cetera, et cetera. So
But this is a corner.
this is a corner, yeah. So the traditional neighborhood, if you look at this page, the amendment would be, now it would show that FB2, that is the side, that if it is less than 50 feet, then you can build the accessory structure. So then the second page would show that the accessory building is, could be built if the house is less or equal than 50 feet. And then the amendment would be to get the accessory on the back part of the house, and then no accessory could be built.
But we don't approve this change. This is just P and Z and the city commission.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And so until that change is approved, we can't approve anything that's longer than 50.
No, you can approve the design. So, and then subject to the approval of the code, the building, the COA will be granted. So what you have to look after is the design that from the staff point of view perfectly matches the area.
Can you go back to the floor plan? So this is what's called a fourplex.
Yes,
So there's 2 units on the first floor and 2 units on the second floor?
yes, as you can see to the right, there are 4 doors to go to the second floor and the other 2 on the sides. On the wall, a little bit more
No,
goes to the entry, to the first floor.
2 on the first, 2 on the second.
Did you want to make a comment? Are you willing to wait until the ordinance is
Yeah, what I
revised?
wanted to get clear is, there, in the code, there's a couple of ways of getting the depth of this building approved. But what Juan and I discussed is what's before this body is really kind of the look and the feel and the design of the structure. So what I would like to leave here today with, so that we can keep moving forward on the plans, would be the approval of the design and the look, subject to zoning or subject to the planning and zoning department approval of the depth of the building.
Okay,
So I think that's a good middle. It kind of takes us down the road.
And so what's the setback on this?
I think the setback here is 10. Juan, do you know?
Should be to the right. No, well, it's not marked on the drawing.
I believe it's 10.
Oh, here, sorry. I beg your pardon.
Okay, so the way it is right now. How long is it? What's the depth?
The depth is 50. No, sorry. The depth of this building is 57.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of difference between 50 and 57, right? So whether it's a potential code amendment, but there's also in the code, there's also a variance that allows staff to approve a certain percentage based on a certain criteria that you meet. And part of that is not good design, maybe some green infrastructure, incorporating some other design elements. So the staff technically has between 10 to 20%, a 20% approval. So we could use that for this specific building because it only is 7 feet away from, right now it's 50. This building as it's designed on the screen is 57.
And the
So-
staircases is on the back to go upstairs.
No, the staircase is actually, the staircases are optional in the back. The staircases to go upstairs, if you go to the front elevation. So you see there's 4 doors there on the bottom floor.
Yeah.
The 2 outside doors are the downstairs units. The 2 inside doors are the upstairs units. And then if you go to the floor plan one, you could see that corridor right there. Go back, first floor. Right there in the middle, those 2 middle doors, that's your staircase upstairs.
Okay. Go back one. Okay, so it doesn't, and on the ground floor, you don't see any staircase going up. Okay. And then, okay, so that is a door over the bathrooms to go to the upstairs, or what?
No, wait, what?
The staircase is over the bathrooms? No. Oh, it's over here, okay.
Right up here, you open those doors and you go.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 doors.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
So it's better yeah. It's the 2 doors in the middle go upstairs and the 2 doors on the outside go to the bottom.
And you're not planning to have the back staircase that's showing on the
We
drawing?
really are considering taking it out. Because it would allow for a little bit of a yard,
Yeah,
right? And then the parking.
Yeah.
So if it's not needed by code, we'll take it out.
okay.
Take it out.
any other questions for Mr. Gonzalez?
And I was actually thinking about it on the way up here. So the intent, and maybe next month, we can put it on the agenda. I'll work with Juan. There's 3 lots here. The intent is to do 3. So 3 separate structures.
All with the same design?
Yes,
3 lots are the same size.
3 lots, same size, same structure, same design, same everything.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as noted, as Juan Velez's recommendations. I guess
Okay.
pending planning and zoning approval of.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next item.
Okay, the next item is 108 Hibiscus. it's applicable, we are going to applicate this kind of same principle with the code amendment. And so Mr. Gonzalez has referred briefly to the building design, that if you improve and do a little bit more ecological, and so the own code allows to build 10% more or even a 20% more or more height or so. So this is the Lillian Brasco house. It was built in 1931. You can see on the right bottom part of the photograph, and there's a free lot just next to it. So this is the house, and recently it was unveiled, the marker. You can see the marker to the left, and this is the free lot. You can see a lot of trees there. So the design really considers the impact of the trees and naturally the setback to allow all this kind of green space on the front. So when speaking with the owner, we were reviewing the typical mid-century modern houses, and you would see why we are looking after the mid-century modern. The design resembles that kind of style. So this is the collection that you have as contributing structures from that period in Los Ebanos, and the two-story. So when looking to all these examples, we noticed that initially we didn't, so we were not very happy with the design, but then we noticed that, yeah, that exactly what the owner is proposing is very similar to this structure that was built in 1949 and is at the end of Ebony Avenue. You know, instead of having that flat roof to the right, it has also a gable roof. And this is the Ball House, and it's a contributing structure. So this is the site plan showing the duplex, and this is
I can't see I don't see the site plan very well.
the site plan. Well, you can
The
see,
lot on the right side.
well,
I mean,
You-
there seems to be some lines missing, no?
well, it's what we could do with the drawings that we received, you know? So,
That there's lines missing?
yeah, okay, let us say that the
Yeah.
front line and so is the one that you see to the right, you know? And then is developed the house, and that line that suddenly you can see on the middle part, it's a camel structure on the second floor. The rest is one story. And then on the back, you would see those lines that you see on the top part of the page are simply the parking. So unfortunately, you cannot see very well through this slide, but you would see that the trees are respected, especially there's a setback for the second tree to the right. So it can be preserved. And so the building design guidelines to improve the mass that you can build refers to to at least maintain a 35% of the landscape, to build with class 1 building materials, such as this one is proposing brick veneer, such as, for example, metal roof. In this case, because the lot has never been built, you can build with that kind of roof. Otherwise, you know that I always look after the Sanborn maps and what was built there. So the owner has to follow the kind of building materials. In this case, there's nothing there. So there's a kind of free way to design. So the design that they are proposing, you can see here better the setbacks.
How long is this?
This is 80 something, 90 feet or something. 92, yeah, 92.
No, it's 80,
80 something?
82, something like that.
So how does this get built?
Okay, so this is the front facade with the brick veneer. As you can see, it looks exactly as the one in Ebony Avenue, plus the camel on the left side. The brick veneer you can see all over the house. So that's the building, the class 1 building material. What we are discussing with the owner is to build then the roof with metal. He complies with the preservation of the area. This is how it would look like. So looks like the,
Is these those blocks that they're called windbreak blocks or whatever they call in front?
are you going to open the public hearing?
Can't remember what they're called, but yes, you're kind of on there.
Oh, yes, are you, I mean, yeah,
So, yeah, okay, let us continue, so then we can open the public hearing.
okay.
So this is the design that the owner is proposing, similar to the one at Ebony. This is how it looked like, all right? So you can see all the trees on the back that are preserved. As mentioned, the second tree is preserved because it's set back, that part of the facade. And then an open parking on the back. So the landscape has to be preserved, such as here, most of the front landscape is naturally being preserved, including the trees. We have the letter of the Texas Stock Commission saying that on the empty lot next to the RTHL designation, they don't have any conflicts. Therefore, the owner can build, adjacent to the house, and no further review is required from them. So from the Texas Stock Commission, we have this clearance. So what happened with the code? Again, that has to be amended in order to develop with these materials or what they propose, some mid-century doors that are. Okay, so what it happened is that right now, the proposal structure is looking after 542,000 square inches, and with the building, the improvement of the building design, such as the code explains, he can perfectly build once the code is amended with the attaching the detached rear structure plus the improvements through building design. Therefore, what we are recommending is to approve the design, subject again to the amendment of the code, and naturally that the owner follows all what is written in the 461 section.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, the Camelback portion, is that both units?
No, I mean, it can be. So, Mr. Chairman, members, the house next door is my house. And so, I've been playing around with a lot of designs about doing something on this property. And to me, my biggest concern about any of the other designs that we went through was kind of like the scale of the structure, right? And so because, I have obviously a registered Texas Historic Landmark next to me, it is my house, and I love the house. I don't plan on moving. So I got to live next to this thing. So this iteration is really the iteration of talking about scale. So trying to make it kind of lower on the scale so that it's more respective of the house next door. But in order to kind of do this, you almost have to do this, right? And that's kind of why you see the elongated proposal here to get to the square footage, 1,300, 1,350 is kind of where you're at. To get to that square footage.
For both units, 1,350 each unit?
Each unit, yeah. We kind of had to do that. And so really that's kind of what you're seeing. The Camelback, it could be for both. We have it here on one side. It could be for none. I mean, if the that's actually kind of my dad's idea. To add like a little, to have one unit that has like either an office component, because there's 2 bedrooms, right? So with living nowadays, some people work from home, that kind of stuff. So my dad's kind of like, hey, well, why don't you add a little something, right? And so that was kind of the attempt to do that. So I'm not married to it. I think it is pretty cool. And so that's really, I just kind of wanted to explain kind of the background on this, why actually we've gotten here. Now, the other thing is, you would say mid-century modern, why isn't it? You know, some of the things that I'm in working with the Texas Historic Commission on a ton of projects nowadays. They're really, they are looking for distinction, right? They don't like replicas. They don't like copies of something. They like for a building to kind of sit in its own era, right? Obviously, this is obviously taking from mid-century modern. So I really think that, in my mind, it provides that, that juxtaposition between, the 1934 house and this new structure, while being respective of scale, and being, respective of the house. So that's where we're at.
You go to the layout, please.
There is this challenge of zoning, and I think it could potentially shrink. It could potentially not shrink, but shrink from a elongating perspective. But that's really why we're in this situation of making it longer.
But on a personal basis, I really like the design of the facade, the front portion.
Thank you.
Very contemporary, and at the same time, it doesn't mimic or copy, but it gives you a feeling of the mid-century architecture. And I think you did a good job of that. Okay, any other questions for Mr. Gonzalez?
But you're not worried even about how far up you are?
No, this is respective of the setback.
I know, but what's the setback?
The setback here is 30.
So, but it is further up than you or your neighbor.
We can make that happen. I mean, I think if it shows it here, I think the intent was to do 30, which is the same setback as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 30 or 25?
Yeah, your house looks further back.
I mean, if that's a condition, that's fine. I mean, like I said, we've been playing around with this, moving it, so,
Yeah.
But what we want to do, like the other one is do you all like the kind of the way we're headed? Do you all like the things I can work with Juan on? Hey, if you got to meet the 30, that's fine. I think we're going to do that anyways. Once again, I'm being respectful of the house, the neighbors. We're trying to kind of accommodate all that.
Yeah. I think you've done a good job of kind of hiding that it's a duplex. I think that's good, really good, that it's not immediately apparent it's a duplex. And I think that's a nice idea, but it does look on this plan that it is much closer. And I think you and the other person on the other side are más o menos about the same setback, don't you think?
I think, I was just looking at it. I think his is further back than the others.
Okay, well, yeah, so then,
I mean, if this isn't, if it's the site plan is either 25 or 30.
okay.
So it's not more than 25. So,
Okay, well, no, if you're
yeah.
25 and that's what most of the neighborhood is,
yeah.
then I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, any other questions?
And there's just one sidewalk going and then it'll split off. That's good. That's good.
That's the intent.
That's good. That's good that that's the intent.
Yeah.
And it's not very obvious that it's a duplex.
Yeah.
It looks like a single family home, I think.
Yeah, I also like the design, the mid-century influence.
Thank you.
Any
So
other
the-
questions?
So what we will discuss with Mr. Gonzalez, because this is really a showcase, for us as a new
Can't hear you.
as a new development, this is a clear showcase for the very first time, because he also is going to improve the building design. So it's simply, find out about the roof, the brick.
No, I get what
Entrances
he's
and-
saying, that they don't want
Yep.
duplications. I get that. I mean,
So I think, I mean, we'll work out whatever site things have to happen from the city perspective. We'll work with the city, and we'll get it to where it meets every regulation. I think once again, like before, I think the important thing for me here is, okay, if you all like the design, if you all like the way it's headed, kind of move forward on the design so we can continue the work of, you know, either squeezing it or shrinking it or that kind of stuff.
Okay, is there a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Is there a motion?
A motion to approve pending, what? Just the set, fronts, that it's at where you think it is, at the 25-foot. And,
And working with zoning,
Pardon?
working with planning and zoning.
yeah, working with
Yeah.
planning and zoning, and then if he's at 25, you think he's meeting where the setback for the neighbor on this side?
I think so.
Okay.
His house looks further back than the other.
Okay, so
You can just say at a minimum 25, if I end up at 30, if I end up at 25.
Yeah.
that's-
at a minimum 25.
Okay, is there a motion?
That
Yeah,
was
that
the
was- that
motion.
was the motion.
Oh,
second.
I make a motion to accept the plan as presented, making sure that it is at least 25 feet behind the property line.
Motion by.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bailly. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item, item number 6, 1704 East Taylor Street. Mr. Velez.
Okay, this is the Concepcion and Aurelio Garcia house. It was built in 1927 and modified in 1935. It's on the upper right corner.
Go back one moment. Slide.
On the upper right corner, you would see 704 East
Okay.
Taylor Street. So the house still exists, this one. We are going to see the interior photographs. These are the trees that are located in the lot. These are some photographs of the interior. We were discussing with the property owner to try to save the house. He has tried, but no one of his family or anyone wanted to relocate the house and save it. This was done by his grandfather. So the recommendation is to approve the demolition once the new project is approved and ready to be built, reminding the conditions of the demolition. Now, where we have issues is with the new design. This is the site again. This is the proposed development. It's, you can see Taylor Street to the right. So they are proposing a volume of a 2-story at the corner and 1-story on the back. We are going to see some examples, or one example that we approved in the past, so you can understand why we don't exactly, let's say, agree with the design proposed. This is the floor plan, building A, 1-story, the building B, that goes to the second floor. This is the second floor. So this is the elevation for the 1-story that they are proposing on the back. And this is the 2-story that they are proposing on the front.
Is this the front,
This
the
is,
front
okay,
elevation?
both houses right now are facing the number street. That is East 17th Street. Okay, so what I'm showing here is simply the contributing houses because you know that it marked the style and so, and the Sanborn maps mark the building materials. This is a Craftsman and so, bungalow, another bungalow, Craftsman, and a nail plan. So I'm showing here how duplexes were developed in the recent past once the UDC was approved. This is the classical kind of prairie house on the back of a site, 1-story house that was also approved on 2022. Remains kind of prairie in a modern way, as Mr. Gonzalez had just said. It's not a replica, but reminds it. And then this is the very last one that also was approved to Roberto Valencia at the corner of Polk Street. and the 12th Street, where the one-story house is naturally located at the corner, so it can be a good infill to the rest of the all houses that are facing East Polk Street, and then the 2 stories on the back, and remains typical American Square house with the parking on the back. So we feel that this is the kind of order, not copy and paste, but this is the kind of order that this lot should have, you know?
Yes.
One more photograph showing how it works. Then the setting district and so, the traditional neighborhood, etc., the building materials, and so on, doors, and so on and so forth. So what we are recommending is to table the item in order that somehow the proposed development could look like, you know, a little bit more order. First of all, in volume, have a 1-story in front, aligned with the rest of the houses. On the back, a 2-story, and also kind of a clear design, because what is being presented, we send the examples of a field guide to American houses, but look like the design doesn't follow, or at least to me, maybe I'm wrong, doesn't follow any kind of, you know, any kind of a design that could be matched with a traditional American house, as I perceived.
Okay, so your recommendation is to table?
To
for
table
today?
the item, yep.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this project?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Basilio Gomez, members of the board.
Speak up, Basilio.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'm Basilio Gomez. I'm here on behalf of the owner. I'm the one that's doing the design for this project. You know, the way it was designed was to, you know, blend in with the surroundings, you know, and I went around the neighborhood and I saw that, you know, that new project that's on 12th. And, you know, I kind of based it on that, you know. So, the reason that we did the, you know, the 2-story building in the front is due to that, there's a real nice country in the back that we're trying to save. So, you know, and try to stay with, you know, you see that big old tree. It's a real beautiful pecan tree. So that's why we did the 2 buildings.
Okay, are you in agreement with tabling the item for today?
I mean, I don't, that's fine, but I don't know what changes does he.
The idea.
I mean,
is-
it's either a hip roof or a gable roof.
No,
You know,
wants
we got
the 1-story in front, and I would say I would prefer the front facade on Taylor,
Yep.
not on the side street. On the side street for the second unit, you can't, that's fine. But I agree with him that you're trying to protect the feeling of the neighborhood, and having the 1-story in front helps protect that feeling of a neighborhood. So, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, to me, you're just gonna,
Yeah,
but you don't have, you have both entrances on the side street, on Numbered Street. And I agree that I feel like it should be the 1-story, and it should have the entrance on Taylor
so keep the 2-story in the front.
in the back.
But the
Flip-
thing is that-
flip it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to chop my tree. I don't wanna do that.
Yeah, what we feel also is that we understand the fact of the tree and so, but, I mean, from at least the staff point of view, would be better to have another development rather to protect the tree that is there. And then you just kind of twist the whole design just to protect the tree. It would be lovely to preserve it, but if that, you know, throw you into this kind of very unusual design, I don't know.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
when you build a duplex, there's no requirement you replace the tree, right?
Sorry?
There's no requirement of replacing landscaping on duplexes.
No, yeah, supposedly you have to plant trees from a residential point of view, but that's more for commercial units. That's enforced on commercial.
No, I don't think so.
Should go back to the site plan?
Yeah, let me,
I think we got it.
He's recommending
Table
once
it.
to table it and also only, it cannot be demolished until plans are
Yeah.
approved.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, we're still on item number 6, which is the demolition.
No, number 6 is the new design, but as you know, the code says that both permits have to be, approved at the same time.
Yeah.
Same time.
So once you approve the design, then demolition can be done.
Okay. Seems like we got it reversed.
So you're saying that there is a requirement to replace the tree if you take it down?
I think that the ordinance says something.
I don't know.
I don't-
I don't know.
I can't
It
remember.
does for
That's
commercial.
think
For
it's
sure it does
Yeah.
for commercial, but I don't know if a duplex is considered
Yeah,
commercial.
it is for commercial. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the
that
thing is that I'm just trying to preserve it. I mean, if you look at it, it's really, really,
I'm sorry, the footprints look very similar in size to me, so flipping it and doing that doesn't look that difficult to me. But I'm not the architect.
Go back to the other example.
I mean, I
There.
could,
See, I think what Ms. McNair is suggesting is that you have the one-story unit facing Taylor,
okay,
and then the two-story unit facing 17th Street.
okay.
Is that a problem?
Yes,
Uh,
he says it is.
No, the thing is that, that's not a problem. The problem is that having the two-story in the back. Because of the tree.
Yeah, the two-story in the back may compromise the tree.
Right.
So
I mean,
that's
I
the
could
reason
flip
why Mr. Gomez designed this kind of, floor plan with that kind of little setback and so, but that makes kind of a complicated design, rather than if it was totally
If I
rectangular.
can have a
Uh,
moment.
What is your name?
My name is Raul Garcia. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
Okay, if I can give you a little bit of contents, maybe
Sure.
that would help behind the reasoning of or why the plans were decided to be finalized like this or attempted to finalize it. This property's been in my parents' name for vacant for about 20 years. I inherited and I took care of went through probate to get it under my name to be able to construct on it. The tree in the back was planted by my grandfather, and the idea of doing this was to be able to put my parents in the back with that tree. So that gives you some contents there as to why I wanted that to remain and why I wanted this whole construction to get started. And it was for the purpose to put my 87-year-old father and 84-year-old mother in the back to where they could still maintain the caring of the tree. They still visit the location. Nobody lives in there. My grandmother was last to pass away, and that was in 2004. So the reasoning behind it was to give the one-story unit to my parents so that they can maintain that lifestyle in a home where it's better apt to take care of them at the age that they're in at this moment. So if I could give you that context.
That's nice, and I appreciate that, and I think that's a very lovely thought. And the remaining charge is that we are here to preserve neighborhoods and preserve the look of the neighborhoods. And I appreciate very much that they want to do that. Your choice then is make the back a one-story too, and preserve the tree for the back also. I mean, I think we have to also be conscientious of what we're doing to downtown and these neighborhoods, and whatever we can do, because it's commercial, now it's going to become much more dense, and whatever we can do to preserve a neighborhood feeling, because you have neighbors that are not going to be duplexes. Now, maybe in the future, in the next 10 years, every house will become a duplex. I have no idea. But for the time being, we need to preserve what neighborhood feel we have and keep it looking and feeling like a neighborhood. That is what I feel is my charge, to help the feel of the neighborhood stay a neighborhood. I don't know when Brownsville will grow so fast and so large that everything becomes a duplex in our apartment complex. I don't know when that's gonna be. But until that time, I think we have to respect what the neighborhood has and what it looks like. And that's what I'm trying to do here.
I understand. And I'll go
Tree-
with whatever was decided or finalized, but I'm trying also to beautify the location. We have nothing, I'm one street away from International Boulevard, and there's nothing but car lots in front of me. I know this because a lot of them have approached me to buy the property since it's now zone commercial, because they just want to add more car lots. I feel this would still protect the neighborhood. It still would look like a reasonable neighborhood. And it would help to beautify the area compared to what's around it.
Now, are you saying you're zone commercial?
But
It is traditional neighborhood.
okay.
And the ordinance used to be, I don't know, they changed everything, but the ordinance used to be you had to be on a state highway or a connector to have a car lot. So Taylor Street would not qualify. I don't know what it is now, but that's what it used to be. On International, which is a state
Which is-
highway.
Two lots over from where I'm at.
The
Extremely
tree,
close.
the tree that you're trying to save is the one shown on the site plan?
Yes, on the middle, yes. Middle and the rear of the property. The problem is if you put a two-story that close to a tree that has the branches that wide, it becomes, I would think, a safety issue. And it would probably have to be, I don't know, skinned on one side or something to that effect. And at that point, I don't know if the tree would survive that. Yeah, it would
Have you, okay,
Sure.
what kind of tree is it?
pecan tree.
Okay, I don't know the age of the average pecan tree. I will just tell you, I live in an 80-year-old house, and it's my husband's grandmother's home, and she planted a tree, and when we moved in, I had an arborist come, and he said, the tree will last you 5 years, and I didn't want to take it down. I didn't want to take it down. He said, well, it's only going to last you 5 years. Hurricane Emily hit south of here. We had bad winds, and 2 years later, down it went. And it wasn't a full length, I would say we had tropical storm winds because it didn't really hit here. So that's the other thing you need to consider, because after a certain age, the trees don't last. So you need to find out how long. My ash tree was 70 years old, and it
This was been through Beulah, through Gilbert and.
well, so had
So I
this
feel-
other one. So had this one. It had been through everything. But Emily came, and it was just I don't know, enough rain and enough wind. Over it went.
Okay,
Is
is there any
it-
more
I-
questions?
Is the two-story, one-story a requirement or a recommendation? The one-story in the front and the two-story, is that a recommendation?
I would say it,
Or it's
I
a
mean,
requirement?
I think we need to think about what's attractive about a neighborhood. And there is a uniformity of having it still look like a neighborhood. Of course, I understand the city wants more dense housing everywhere. So in the end, it may all become duplexes all the way up and down every street. I don't know. But to respect the neighbors, I think we need to keep it looking like a neighborhood and not looking,
But I think the two-story elevation looks much better than the other two-story, one-story combination. Can you go back to the elevation?
well,
The front.
what's wrong with, go back to the white one. What is your objection to the one? Okay,
What?
this one.
This one?
This one?
What's
He
fine,
likes the
sorry.
design better.
Well, I mean, compared to the other two-story,
Well,
one-story. this
first of
has-
all, it's facing 17th Street. It's not facing Taylor.
I would
That was
prefer,
Well, that was gonna be my question is, what's the reasoning behind those facing 17? And not,
Those were the recommendations done by the city,
really?
if I'm correct.
No, you wouldn't have recommended he
wouldn't it
face the street, the numbered street rather than the main street.
recall, but, I mean, what is consistent with what we have approved before is always the one story in front facing the main street, and then whatever you want to build on the back facing the number street, you know? That's
Yes.
usual. That doesn't mean that always happens, but always happen the kind of facing, both the volumes, yeah, because that's the way to align with the rest of the main street.
Yes.
If it's facing to, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, any more questions for the owners? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. I will say this, years ago, I was involved with the design of the Boys and Girls Club over on 7th Street. There was a large, I think it was an oak tree, back in the back toward the alley. That's where they wanted to put a swimming pool. So we changed the shape of the swimming pool to save the tree. So we wound up with an odd shaped pool, but we saved the tree. Then about 10 years later, they cut the tree down. And I said, why'd you cut the tree down? They said, well, there was leaves all over the pool. We were having a tough time keeping it clean. So, you know, the shape of the pool with the tree gone didn't make any sense. But I appreciate what you're trying to do to save the tree. I think that's commendable and a good memory for your parents. All right, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to table the item.
I'll second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye,
Motion passes. Oh, you object?
yeah, just object to, but that's fine.
Either no.
Okay.
You see, no,
Fernando
Yeah, I
Bailey.
said no, but it's. I don't mind it.
Okay, next item are tax exemptions.
Lina, is it required any other vote? Yeah, Mr. Vallis, the 9, and the other 3 members are saying, yeah, that's okay? Is that okay?
One story in the front.
Are we gonna?
Do we move into the tax exemption, sir? or-
No, we are speaking about this item. 3 board members say yeah. Quorum are 4, then Mr. Walker should have to be voting.
3-1,
Okay.
okay? All right, that
But is there an action item for this? Oh, here it is. Yes, never mind. I
Yeah.
see it.
Then we move into the tax exemptions. Okay, so what we are going to see on the copy that I sent, that I gave to you, the first 2 pages on the front and on the back, those are the compliant properties that are not in conflict with any of the board members, so you all can vote. Okay, so it should be the National Register Historic Places and State Markers number 1 in the slide,
Oh,
The-
okay.
the local primary number 1 on the slide, and it's on the back of the first page. The next one is substantial rehab, number 1 on the slide, and the second front page on the copy that I gave to you. And then the new substantial rehab, number 1, those 3 properties. That is the last page of the 2 first.
I didn't follow that one. Okay, the first column ends at Casimiro Tamayo House. Right?
Oh, okay, no, that's, no. No, you have to vote on the first page and second page, okay?
What are the ones in red?
The third page is the Ullman Stern Kraus, where Commissioner Cardenas Magnier should have to abstain because she has a conflict in this item, and then the other 4 members will vote, etc. And then it comes to
Okay,
properties of,
I think you may even need to come up here. I am seeing a list that starts with Ullman, Sterner, Kraus, Grocery, and ends with Casamito.
oh, this one.
Okay, hold on.
Right.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
This was given in the board packet, but this is.
Okay, so all of these have
What
the
is-
first
what's going on
page,
here?
they all have a marker. These all have a marker, okay. Yes, yes, so local markers. But they do not have markers, or they do have markers? They don't have markers? Okay, no markers.
Last one is the new. So then the board of the
And these don't have markers either. The new substantial rehabs don't have markers.
in-house have a marker, but I have what show that they purchased recently.
Okay.
And that's incorrect, kind of enforcement.
Okay, okay.
So these four. And the third one.
Okay,
This one shows.
I don't know what he's doing.
Fernando Valle, and the last one shows the property.
Okay, what are these? Forget
This-
it?
Part of the agenda.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Very true.
I'm looking at the wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. and
This
This
you don't
is,
know what the.
okay, this is Reba.
It's pretty.
This is Fernando. This is
No
Reba.
conflict of interest.
And this is Tony.
Then,
Okay,
state,
right?
Reba has to abstain.
So this is Fernando.
This
How
one,
many votes are we doing here?
Okay,
and this one,
this is Tony. Okay,
How many votes are we doing? 4, 5? Did you know that?
No?
To tell them how to do it.
Okay, this one here,
Read it or you.
this one here?
but are we gonna name them, or how are we gonna do this?
Reba Martinez has to abstain.
Okay,
Fernando Valle has to abstain in these two. Finally, Tony No has to wait for it. Rodriguez has to abstain.
okay.
Okay,
Alright.
but are we gonna name what we're proving? We're gonna have to say each name. Oh, but we don't have to say the names out loud. Oh, okay. But, okay, let me ask, have you loaded this up on the agenda so that that if you're looking at the agenda online?
The agenda shows that, but that, because there have been a couple of properties that have moved because the property owner gave to me. All this and so I move it.
So you're gonna, but then you're gonna, so then, okay, how does the public know what got approved? Like, so if I'm one of the homeowners,
Because this is shown on the slide. This-
and that is gonna be
this shown on the
uploaded
presentation.
and the presentation's online? Okay, that's, okay.
Confused.
Okay, he has a new list, this one, it is just that,
Okay,
First 2 pages.
first 2 pages,
okay, including the back of the.
including,
second
and
page?
then all the ones, those, yes, because those are substantially rehabbed, and the TKD that has a marker.
Okay, so we vote for this
And
to approve.
yes, and he is assuring me that
And the
if
other
you
one.
are a homeowner and you want to know if you got approved, that it's posted online,
Okay,
okay?
so you abstain for yours.
I abstain for
Fernando
mine,
abstains
for
his.
his, and Tony
Tony
abstains
abstains
for
for
his,
his.
correct.
All right, we're on tab. I don't know where you came up with that.
These items are on the agenda for today.
No way. Well, I mean, I consider that substantial. Well, I mean, we can't have a discussion right now because it's not on the agenda, but we can put it on the agenda and discuss it.
So-
expect people to spend 30 or 40,000 every year. They don't need 30 or 40,000.
Somebody needs to change the clock. It's
Yeah.
not 2:15.
Even until it's fine.
Okay, what's the story?
Wait, Mr. Velez, before we start that, let me just clarify for the record that today the body is only voting on items that indeed appear on the agenda that was posted.
That's
Is that
correct.
correct, sir?
Yes.
Probably didn't.
All right, is there,
But the breakout of how, I want people to be able to go online and see that they got approved. But Juan is saying it is online so that they can look and, so will they know that item, item are we 7 or 8? 8. If item 8 is approved, that they got included.
Okay.
That is my concern. I just want to make sure that they can look and
Sure.
see.
Ma'am, and that's separate from just going through this list?
Yes, because he's doing it yes, it is, it's the same list, different breakouts, because each of us has to step out.
Okay.
So, yes, it is. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because the
Okay,
three of us
so-
here know that we are approving it. And I guess for everybody else,
So,
Mr. Velez?
so after checking with the attorney, let us say, on the original list that appears in the agenda, it appears also the non-compliant properties. But if you read the agenda was saying that the vote was regarding only the properties in compliance. You know? So in the agenda says 2025 tax exemption eligible listed in black ink properties in compliance. That was the vote required on the agenda. What I
what
have
is the
simply,
vote required on the agenda?
yeah, you were not going to vote on the red properties, on the red ink properties. Why? Because they are right now out of compliance. Why? Because they haven't introduced the
Submitted.
invoices,
They
the
haven't
condition
submitted.
is not the proper, and so the deadline for those properties are December the 2nd. If they don't,
Apply by the-
you know,
Okay, but
do
then-
correct, so then,
The question is, are we going to have to name everything that's in black?
okay, whatever, maybe if you prefer in that way, so everything is clear, that's okay. I think that the only property that has to get out that I noticed and Dina has noticed as well is one located in the new substantial rehab, that is the Webb Miller store, that was not included originally on the list as a new substantial rehab. So if you, once you name it, you name all of it, but when you go to the last page of the second page, you know, the first property is Webb Miller store, that cannot be included because it was not included on the original agenda, okay? So if you want to name it,
So
then
we
you
are
name,
going to have to name.
sorry?
We're going to have to name.
Yeah, but you name on this list, not on that one, because you cannot vote, this list included, for example, the first one was Ullman. And I separate that on the properties that McNair has just that you can abstain, all right?
But
Okay, hold
Are
it,
you clear?
hold it. I am confused by this presentation. Okay,
okay, because she is saying that only we have, what is in the agenda is what has to be approved and not approved.
What's required.
you talking about this here?
Black, you were going to vote on the black ink, right? Because it was out of compliance.
Okay,
What I did is, okay, all the properties in compliance and gather those that.
that's what this is.
Yes.
That's what this is.
It's just reorganized.
So, but I think we're going to have to name them.
Well, you just name it, you just go to this, you name everything except the Webb Miller. And then you continue with the property,
By
properties,
the jail.
and
So I think we're gonna have to go through his first two lists and say
Yeah.
the names of the first two pages, and that way it is clear what is being approved as opposed to a list that
That's
is
fine. You want to read them?
black and red. Sure, I'll read it. Okay,
But we need to read them in groups. You have to leave mine out.
no, I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna read, I'm only gonna read the first two pages,
She's
then
leaving
I'm
out the
gonna
first
step
two.
out. I'm gonna
that's
step
right,
out.
that's right.
I don't think you need to step out. You just can't vote.
Just don't
Okay,
vote.
okay,
You abstain.
all right,
You gonna read them?
sure.
All right, speak up. loud.
So I need to, but am I gonna already make a motion? In this
You read
motion,
'em first.
okay, so I'm gonna read them first, okay. So, August, so
Okay.
we're going to,
Can, Lina, can she directly motion the properties to be approved while reading, or she has to read first and then do the motion?
I think that if Ms. McNair's motion is as to all except for,
no, I'm not even gonna name the ones that are gonna be the exceptions.
okay,
I'm only gonna name the ones that we are going to vote for, all of us. And then there's other ones that I'm not going to name, and then that will be somebody else's motion to make.
I think it would be cleaner to do the singular ones first, and then the last motion would be all remaining items.
Okay, but this is what none of the red are going to be named. That is on the agenda. All of those are not being approved.
Correct. The ones in red are not being voted on today.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why I'm thinking we need to name what is being voted on, because I don't think there's an explanation that the red is not being voted on.
On the agenda at the top, it says tax exemption eligible listed in black, properties in compliance. And I understand that to mean that that's
Everything in black. ink.
what's.
Okay, so
presented
you
in
think
the-
that's good enough?
Because it
Okay,
says
well,
here
then I don't
listed-
I don't think you have to read them.
Then I don't have to read them. I didn't think it was clear enough, but if you think it is, that's
If-
fine.
Yeah,
if
for
the-
example,
If the body agrees.
I agree.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
is there a motion? Essentially, we're talking about these 4 pages.
But
Yeah.
we
Talk
have
about
to
this side,
exempt,
this side,
no,
this
we
side,
need to
this
say a motion and exempting what is on Fernando's list, Tony's list, and my list. We have to say, we're going to do this except for the name, for these other names. Which I can't, I don't
Okay,
even know if I
then-
should make the motion.
Okay,
quick.
then
Why
the
don't you
motion,
Make a motion to approve all of them except yours. And, somebody will nominate Tony's.
No, we have to exempt everybody's, because then if I only exempt mine, Tony's is included.
Right.
We have to
Not to
exempt
vote on that.
yours, his,
Yeah.
and mine.
why don't you, why don't,
Okay, just consider yours, we all vote on it. Somebody will nominate yours and then we vote on it, somebody.
No, but you have to exempt yours, because then you can't vote on it.
I can't vote.
No, but it's a separate item.
Yeah, it'd be a separate item.
Yeah.
Not, no, she's saying that this is the list we are going by, not his list.
Not his list. It has- the
She's
one that's
saying
on
we're
the
going by
agenda.
the one that's on the agenda.
Yeah,
That's where
everything
the,
in black.
that's where the confusion is. He was trying to make it easier, but this is what got posted.
Yeah,
You have to go by it.
either that or let's table it. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, so that it's done correctly.
Ms. McNair, you were correct. I misunderstood earlier. I'm, struggling to follow. I now understand that in the posted agenda, we're at the posted agenda. Some of the items that are red have since black in the secondary list that was provided to the body. I understand that only those ones that, I don't know that this body can, if it's proper for this body to vote on the ones that changed from red to black.
Okay,
I have an issue with that. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that if this is what is on the agenda, we have the ability to change it.
Okay, but if this is what's on the agenda that we have to go by, we
Yeah.
can't exempt these three members of this council in the vote, because then we don't have
Then
a
you won't
quorum.
have a quorum.
No, but you can say, okay, I move to approve. Reba can say, I move to approve the properties listed in black ink that appears in the agenda, except mine, which I abstain.
But
Abstain.
If I say accept mine, his and his
Okay,
are still on the
right.
list.
Right, she's right.
You don't have a quorum.
Except mine, Fernando's, and
You don't
Tony's
have a
property.
quorum.
Can't do that.
You don't have a quorum.
We don't wind up with a quorum.
There's only,
If they
then only
can't
two
vote-
people are voting.
Well, okay, so why don't we vote, start on the individual one? Vote on Reba, vote on mine, Reba abstains from hers, Tony.
Oh, yeah, you could,
Okay.
you could pull it.
And then
Yeah.
vote on all the remaining.
Okay,
Fine.
You started.
is that acceptable to you, attorney?
That makes most sense to
think-
me,
yeah.
to vote on the
Okay.
individual
Let's
ones
do that.
first,
You're gonna have to pull
and
them.
then at the end, vote on the
Alright.
balance.
And he'll let Fernando start it,
Okay,
and then you'll abstain for yours at the end.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I'm gonna nominate,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna nominate, like, I'll nominate Reba.
Right.
Okay, so, I'll make a motion, yours is, for approval on the Oldman Stearns Kraus grocery store at, 730 McNair, Family Drive. For approval for the tax exemption.
I'll second.
all right, motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I
Reba.
abstain.
Reba McNair abstain.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, where's yours, Tony?
No, there's one, there's one
one more.
underneath and then
The
there's
back.
on the second page, on the, flip the page.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, McNair Clothing Factory.
Oh, there's another one. I'm sorry.
And there's
I'll
also
make a
McNair
motion
House.
to approve McNair Clothing Factory at 739 McNair Family Drive for the tax exemption, 50%.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those
I
opposed?
abstain.
And Reba
Abstain.
McNair abstains.
And then there's McNair House on the first page, beneath Ullman.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion since I find, where is it?
On the first page.
Underneath the one that
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the McNair House at 39 Sunset Road for the property tax
Sunset.
exemption.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. All
I
right, next item.
abstain.
Oh, and Reba McNair abstains.
Okay, Next
You
one,
want to do the old county jail?
next one would be Fernando,
Oh, mine?
Fernando's properties. So
Here, you want to do that?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the Casamito Tamayo House at 947 East 15th Street.
Is there a second? Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And Fernando
Abstain.
abstains.
Okay, and then I make a motion to approve the Pit House at 1808 Palm Boulevard,
1806, just to make sure.
1806.
If it
Sorry.
matters, I don't
I
know.
saw 8, okay, sorry,
Okay,
1806
is
Palm
there a
Boulevard.
second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Please note,
I
Fernando
abstain, sorry.
abstained.
Abstain.
All right.
And then there's,
what about
Next,
the,
I make a motion to approve El Alamo at 902 East Adams.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
I abstain.
Motion passes, and Tony Rodriguez
I
abstains.
got one.
No,
There you go.
No.
Fernando
Eight.
Bailly.
Oh,
Fernando
no more.
abstained.
the Layton?
And then I make a motion to approve the Layton Grocery Store, 540 East Monroe.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If
Aye.
not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion
I
passes.
abstain.
And Fernando Bailly abstains.
Okay. And then I make a motion to approve the Old Cameron County Jail at 1201 East Van Buren Street.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Tony Rodriguez abstains.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. One more motion.
Now you go through the rest of the list that appear in the agenda. No, Lina?
I think a proper motion would be to approve the balance of items in black
Black.
on
Yes.
the agenda, not yet.
I'll make a motion to approve all, I'm sorry,
All the items in black.
the
The
items on
balance,
the agenda in black.
The balance of
The
items.
The balance of the items.
So we already pulled out a handful of individual ones.
Yeah.
And so the balance of items is all the ones that are remaining,
remaining.
that haven't been voted on yet.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Never relax for a second. Who's second?
Second.
What time is it?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, so now you have some that were in black that you're gonna have to get approved next meeting.
That's right.
Okay. We adjourn. Wow.
No, we're so glad we have you here to keep us on the straight and narrow.
We are adjourned. I don't know. Is it?
I believe